Hey, this is Richard with Dice University, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build out a quiz lander. Alright, so right now I'm inside of Big Bang Ads and I want to essentially find an offer which could work well with a quiz flow. And obviously, just to let you know, all of the offers inside of Big Bang Ads will work very well with a quiz lander flow. And the reason why they will is simply because, oops, let me remove that, it's a Skype message. The reason why is simply because Big Bang Ads is all single opt-in sweepstake offers. So what that means is all of the offers inside of Big Bang Ads are sweepstakes, and they are single, they're just one page opt-ins and we get paid, right, as affiliates. And these flows tend to work very well, these offer types tend to work very well with quiz landers. So every single offer here will do fine. But let's try and look for, I want to look for like a supermarket brand. And I already know what brand I'm using, but I just want to show you my process. So let's have a look. Okay, default. All right, we can use this. So I'm gonna go with Tesco. So you can see all of these different brands here. And what's unique about Big Bang Ads, if you never use this network, well, they're an advertiser, but they have this network capability. What's unique about them is that when you select an offer like I have just did, so this is technically the offer. The offer has different brands that we can actually use for the same offer. So it's the same conversion and the data goes to the same endpoint, but we can use these different angles, aka offers, and brands to run our campaigns, right? So we can see ASOS, Argos, Asda, I believe that was there, yep. We've got Audi, we've got Tesco, supermarket, all of these different brands in different niches and sub-verticals within sweepstakes. We could use any of them. So I'm going to use Tesco. I want to preview the landing page. So let's have a look here. All right, so be in the final draw to win a gift card. All right, so win a gift card. Standard sweepstake flow. People are having the opportunity to win something, and that's how a sweepstake essentially works. In Europe, sweepstakes tend to be, giving you the opportunity to win, etc. Whereas in the US, it's a bit more of a reward-based system, and that reward-based system is definitely much more, I would say, legal. All right, so you can kind of go around the loopholes with that type of angle, and that's how things are set up on the back end. But that's a little bit complex for me to go into in this video. But anyway, so this looks good. Be in the final draw to win a gift card, £1,000. It's quite a lot of money, so there's going to be high intent to try and win that. And then there's a sign up point right here, which is awesome. Cool. So I already have a lander that I've got generated, all right, and I want to walk you through how the lander was constructed, just so that when you are running your offers and your sweepstake campaigns, you know exactly what you need to do. So let's pull it up. Actually, I'm just going to move this one away. Awesome. So from my traffic source, Facebook, push traffic, those are the typically quite good traffic sources for a sweepstake offer. From those traffic sources, I will be sending the traffic to a page that looks like this with this quiz flow. All right, so the page is, it has a standard, the logo. It's got the published on, it's showing that this is relevant, and then it has this message. All right, so this is kind of like the angle of the campaign. So you've been personally selected to take part in our 2020 annual visitor survey. So this is survey angle. Tell us what you think of Tesco, and to say thank you, you'll receive a £1,000 Tesco voucher. All right, you can swipe this copy if you want, it's fine. But this is quite a good copy and quite a good angle, but you can test out various angles in this area here. So this is where you want to be, changing the angles. Maybe you're doing market research, whatever it might be, but you're testing out the different angles in that section. Then we have the actual quiz. All right, So there's actually a science behind making a good quiz lander and building good quiz flows. And the science simply is that the first question, so this question right here, what is your age group? You want to make it very frictionless, right? You're not doing anything too much to make them think. You don't want them to think too much because you want to draw them in. So every time you get them to micro commit to something, you are drawing them into the rest of the flow, all right? So every micro commitment builds up. For example, if I had a 10 question flow, they complete 10 questions and they then go to the quiz, the sign up page after, I will have a higher chance of converting that traffic than when I get somebody who does only 3 questions, all right? However, there's a price to pay, because if I do 10 questions, then less people are actually going to complete that quiz, right? So less people are going to complete it, so I'm going to get a lower CTR on my landing page. And I need to then weigh up if the lower CTR on my landing page is worth the higher conversion rate on the offer. And you kind of need to look at all the numbers, look at all the metrics, and put things together, okay? So typically for a quiz flow, 3 to 5 questions tends to do the trick. And that's kind of like the sweet spot area. You should test, split test. You can try more questions, maybe in the type of traffic that you're acquiring and the type of angles you're running. Maybe more questions are required, but typically 3 to 5 is the norm. But anyway, so the first question, you want to make it super easy, but at the same time you don't want to make it too easy. You don't want to make it too stupid, right? Is the sky red or blue? Like, you're not trying to do like a capture type quiz where they're, you know, doing some form of verification. You're asking them things that are still relevant to them, so it's almost like we're capturing some information on them, because then that makes it more relevant and it makes it avoid any friction. All right, you don't want to have any friction whatsoever. And if you make it too easy, you might feel like, okay, this is easy, so they're going to complete it. However, if it's too easy, that actually adds friction. And the way in which that adds friction is that people will start thinking, this seems a little bit strange. All right, and once you get that level of trust lowered, the whole point of the micro commitments and the quiz flow is gone. All right, the whole point when you build out these quiz landers, the actual ethos and science behind it is that the more micro commitments you collect, the more that person has bought into the process and bought into the flow. All right, so when you get them to do the to the conversion point, they have a higher chance of converting and the conversion rate will increase. However, if you send the traffic from your Facebook page or your push traffic source through to a one-click button, and that one-click button then takes them to a sign-up form, when they get to the sign-up form, they've hardly done anything. So it's very easy for them mentally to just click off and just move on with the rest of their day. And we don't want that. We want to draw them in question by question by question. All right, and you can see this in in solar niche, in mortgage, any financing niche, auto insurance, life insurance. You'll see quiz type flows. All right, not necessarily like you're asking them random stuff around the survey, but you're going to see simple questions being asked, right? But obviously questions are relevant to that niche. Okay, and those flows tend to do very, very well because you're securing big micro commitments by people giving you certain bits of information about themselves. But it's only that one button clicks. They're not typically, at that stage, they're not writing anything down. All right, you're just making them click and click and click and click and click and click, and they're thinking about the process. They're thinking about things that's going on. And when you're running, let's take things away from Sweepstakes for a second. When you're running in those verticals, even if you're running a health offer, all right, and I've seen this myself from running health offers, Facebook, ClickBank. You can use quiz flows that to ask them questions around their diet, ask them questions around their health, and this gets micro commitments in. And let's say you're running with ClickBank and you're asking those questions, what you're doing is you're getting micro commitments. You're securing those micro commitments so that when they get to the VSL page, which is the video sales letter, where they watch the video, the chance of them pressing play has essentially skyrocketed. And with ClickBank, what they do really well is they have these awesome VSLs that tend to convert cold traffic very well. So your goal is to just get that traffic to watch that video, and then the rest is done for you. In this case, with the sweepstake offer, our goal is to get them to essentially believe that they're providing this information as part of a certain angle, all right? Market research, survey, whatever it might be. And then once they get to that page, that endpoint, it's just part of the same flow, all right? They need to put the information in to finish off the flow. Like this is the starting point. The endpoint is once they've completed the information on the sign up page and we get paid. And that's how you need to look at it. So don't just create a quiz randomly. Make sure that your quiz flow actually is relevant to the offer page. So as you can see here, I'm going to go through some of the questions real quick. So what is your age group? Very simple question, but still quite relevant. Then we have the second question. How much do you spend on groceries in a month? All right. I'm not going to ask them about, you know, their fashion taste or anything like that. That's not relevant. All right. Groceries. Why do you go to Tesco? The main reason is groceries. Even if they have a, you know, electronics part, the main reason people go to supermarkets is not to go to buy electronics or buy clothes, it's for groceries, okay? So you will throw people off if you do not stick with the correct dialogue, okay? People will be thinking, what is going on? Something doesn't seem right, and that adds friction, that removes trust, and most likely they're not going to convert. So having a question like this, how much do you spend on groceries? Realistic spend amounts, don't just put random numbers. Like, these are real people thinking about their real spending habits. Do not put random numbers, because again, you will be adding friction. If you want to add friction, if you want to reduce your conversions, then be stupid, you know, write random stuff. But my advice to you is don't. Like, think about the actual spend of a customer and make this as real as possible, because then you will increase your conversion rate. Do you want to make profits or not? Then focus and do things properly. As you can see, the next question, again, like, Tesco is one of the 3 major supermarket chains in the United Kingdom. True or false? Very simple, but highly, highly relevant, all right? Because it's a survey type of flow. Having a question like this makes things, like, it kind of switches things up, and it makes things seem very, very real, all right? Because then they are being questioned on it, and they're like, is this right? Like, what? If I get this wrong, maybe I won't win, blah, 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 all right? Then we have, we complete that, and then we have, where do you normally buy your groceries from? So with this question, again, what we are doing is we're asking them for information about themselves. So they're believing that by giving us this information, they are increasing their chances of winning this specific item, so this gift card, all right? And this is exactly what we want to do. And the main thing here is that this question, you can also use as a bridge question. So sometimes you can have a question like that, but I would also recommend testing out a bridge question. So what I mean by that is having a question that's a bit more like, I'm gonna write it down actually, let me write it down. So right now I have brackets up. So if you were looking to use a code editor, brackets is very good and it's free. So I would have something like, if you were to win this gift card, how long could you shop for free? And then, because it's £1,000 gift card, you can put 1 week. Two weeks. 3 weeks. 1 month or more. All right. And typically, you know, £1,000 for the average person who's going to be clicking and going through this flow, that probably can go a long way, all right? And that's what they're going to be thinking about. They're going to be thinking, wow, if I win this gift card, I can actually shop for the next 2 months for free. And it's exactly what you want them to think before they go to the sign up page, because that increases your conversion rate. So make sure you think about that when you're, you know, adding the final question. Make sure you have a question that's focused on closing the deal, closing the sale, and the next page should just be them signing the contract. That's how you want to think about it.